Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello.
Namaste, everyone. How's it going?
Namaste.
This, my friend, is called Siim, and Siim is somebody I came across recently on YouTube. And Siim is from Estonia, and he talks about pretty interesting stuff on his channel. If I'm not wrong, Siim, I think what you talk about basically is something called biohacking, where Siim teaches you various methods, or what's even better is that he links you to various people or resources who have learned how to hack into their own psychology, physiology, get better in terms of reading, get better in terms of your body, your fitness, your mind, each and everything. All right. And this is going to be the first collab on my channel, guys. So give a nice warm welcome to Siim. And we are not going to waste a lot of time with me talking in this video. I'm going to be asking Siim questions on a particular mythological topic, which is very, very interesting. All right. And I'll just let Siim tell you about what exactly that topic is. But first, what I wanted to say was that for a long time, I haven't really spoken much about manliness or masculinity on my channel, which ultimately is what I plan to do and I want to talk about. So what I'm going to start doing is start getting some guys over like Siim who are very, very knowledgeable, and we are going to start the discussions on this, and I want all of you guys to participate in this. All right. So without any further ado, Siim, I'm going to hand over to you. Tell us, what are we going to talk about today? What is the hero's journey? And how did you get to, how did you come across this? How did you learn about what this is?
Okay, so basically, the hero's journey is like this universal monomyth that it can be found across all cultures in different societies across the world. And basically, it's a story about this one particular guy who, at first, he's like very an inferior version of himself. He's like a very boyish, childish. He's in his comfortable environment. He's living at home with his parents, at the tribe. He's being taken care of. And one day he receives a call to adventure from some sort of a potential threat, or a temptation, or a desire for glory. And he's going on an adventure. And during that adventure, he will discover so many new things about himself. He will face challenges, he will face obstacles, adversity, all those kind of things. And during that process, he will transform himself into a much more greater version of himself. He becomes more mature, he gains a deeper insight of who he truly is, how the world works around him, and how he fits into the grand scheme of things in all.
This actually sounds very, very interesting, because I recently spoke about something pretty similar in one of my videos, and I came across the hero's journey. If I'm not wrong, this is a book by Joseph Campbell, is it?
Yeah, the hero's journey was this entire concept was created by this famous anthropologist called Joseph Campbell, and he created the book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. In which he gives you a lot of examples from myths across the entire world of how this hero's journey can be found in different shapes and different forms. And it's based on the concept of the collective unconsciousness by Carl Jung.
Okay.
Like the universal archetypes in the human psyche that are guiding our behavior, that are influencing our thoughts, and how we relate to the world.
Okay, was Campbell by any chance one of Carl Jung's students?
Yeah, he was actually one of his students. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty interesting, because I have actually read one book by Joseph Campbell. It's called The Power of Myth, and it's with Bill Moyers. And I'd come across this book by watching a famous YouTuber's video. The guy is called Elliot Hulse. Have you watched him?
Yeah, Elliot Hulse. Yeah, he has talked about it a lot as well.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. And I used to watch his videos when I was doing my undergraduate studies and everything. And I came across this book. So that is the one book I have read. But The Hero with 1,000 Faces, I have not read that. So That's something new which I am going to add to my list, and I'm going to read about that. So that's pretty interesting. And now what we're going to do is I have a few questions for you based on what you spoke about. So the first question I'm going to ask you is that what are these like, as you mentioned that the hero will begin on his journey, or basically the man or the boy will step out of his tribe and then meet various obstacles or come across new environments. So I want to ask you, what are these various stages, or what is the structure in which the hero's journey is built, and what are the most crucial stages, basically?
Well, yeah, Joseph Campbell, he discovered that there are 17 stages in total in the hero's journey, and it's divided into 3 acts. The first act is departure from the ordinary world, from the safe environment of the home, and Act 2 is descent into the underworld, the special world where all the action kind of take happen, and the last stage is return back to home. And the most crucial stages are, well, they're all kind of important, but there are some that are more significant than others. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I'm going to give you like some of the most important ones.
Yeah.
For instance, the first one is probably refusal of the call, or the call to adventure. They're both happening almost simultaneously.
Yeah.
The hero he's at his home, and one day he receives this surprising call to adventure from some sort of a messenger or a potential threat or anything else. And the first response of the hero is to refuse it. It's like, oh, I'm not ready for this. This is too difficult. This is too dangerous, and he's gonna want to escape from it. But you can't run away from things forever, and you have to accept. You have to take responsibility over your life, and the hero will do so as well. When he does that, he will meet a mentor. A mentor is like the wise old man, like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. And he will give the hero some advice, some practical training, and he will also give him confidence and encouragement. Like he will dispel the hero from his fears, and he will tell him what he has to do. When that happens, the hero will then cross the first threshold between the ordinary world and the special world. He will basically jump into the abyss, like into hell almost. Like in the special world, there are many enemies, different obstacles, and there is this like antagonistic force that is like the source of evil. That's the reason why he's gone on this adventure in the first place. And in the special world, he will begin to walk the road of trials. The road of trials with different challenges, obstacles, adversity. He's constantly struggling. He's fighting for his survival. He has to push off immediate gratification and to become comfortable being uncomfortable. This is actually pretty interesting. Sorry, continue. Go ahead. You can comment. I was saying actually in this you can see the influence which Campbell has from Carl Jung, because Carl Jung used to talk about, or like his other students used to talk about, this ritual initiation where they would have to go through these, the man would have to go through these particular tough times, and there would be no option once you are into the special world or the underworld. There is no option but to either fight and survive or die. That the stress or the challenge will be so tough that it will either kill your inner self, in terms of whom you thought you were, your ego and your boyish mentality, and it will break that down. And two things can happen: either you won't be able to handle it and you quit and you will forever remain in that broken down state, or what you do is basically you fight and you emerge as a new man, where you are basically now well versed with the challenges or the mysteries of the universe as they present themselves to you. And so I can see the influence which Jung has had on Campbell in writing this.
So you're saying the first most important stage is basically when you get the call, all right? When you get the call and there's the refusal, you know, that no, you know, this seems too tough or something like that. The next is the descent. And what was the next one which you said?
It was the road of trials, like the journey.
Yeah.
Road of trials, the journey in the underworld.
Yeah.
And during that journey, the hero will also meet friends, make allies.
Yeah.
Like he creates the fellowship of the ring, like in Lord of the Rings, and he has other heroes beside him who will assist him.
Yeah.
And at one point in the center part of the journey, the hero will enter a stage called Atonement of the Father. What it basically means is the hero has to confront like the greatest source of authority in their life. In myths, it's usually the father figure, like the father who is, you know, gazing over the boy, who is constantly having control over the hero. But in that stage, in the atonement, the hero has to take that power from him. He symbolically takes the power and thus becomes independent. And in some ancient myths in Papua New Guinea and stuff, there are like exact initiation rites where the boy is taken to a dark tent where there is smoke, there is no light, and there is this one man with a exact mask with some sort of a monster face or something like that, and the boy is like, he's beaten at first, he's distorted, he's you know, almost unconscious, and he can't see a lot of things, he's scared, and at that time he has to, you know, muster enough courage to, you know, take the mask from the man, and through that he becomes independent.
That's amazing, because I just thought of this this thing in what you see in the jungle is that, for example, when the head or the chief lion of a pride of lions gets old, that first of all he's outcasted by his own tribe, but in order to be understood that he is old, first what happens is that most probably it's his own child or, you know, other young lion cubs who, once they reach maturity, they are the ones who challenge him, and they are the ones who, in a way, confront their father figure, as you said. And it's amazing how, you know, you in a way, like, Campbell is trying to relate this to even humans, because I have come across a lot of guys who, once they are trying to become independent, you know, especially when I speak to Indian guys who are very, very protected and fathered or like mothered, or, you know, they are very, very cared for by their family. But once they start reaching maturity and they start reaching the age where they have to get out and live on their own, that there is a lot of confrontation with the father, and there's a lot of deep issues where the father still wants him as, you know, one of his own kind of army soldiers, whereas the son wants to now lead an army of his own, you know, and he doesn't want to follow anyone again. So that is actually pretty interesting. Tell me, why exactly are these myths, or why exactly is this hero's journey so attractive or appealing to human beings? Like, why is it that they find this interesting, and, you know, why is it that it relates to us so much?
Well, what the hero's journey basically is, it's a story, and we as human beings, we are like storytellers. We've been, language is what is such a unique part of our culture, a part of our human experience, that it's that the story itself is like a way of how we bring meaning into the world, of how we define our cosmology and who we are as a person as well. And also, if you look at it from a very, very purely from the evolutionary psychology perspective, then it's simply a way of promoting reproductive success, or you know, promoting or helping the future generations to find their own way. Because if in ancient tribes, people would have different stories about you know, what you have to do, what particular things you have to avoid, like don't go to that part of the forest because there were some I don't know, werewolves or lions
Yeah.
and that's a way of giving information to to the offspring.
Yeah. 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 And so, like, the main thing which you were saying is, as because we like storytelling, and
Mm.
we kind of like the whole aspect of. I think there's a particular element of drama connected to this, if I'm not wrong. Where there's a lot of emotion mixed in. There's a lot of action. There's probably sadness. There's happiness. There's sadness at the point of the departure. There is a lot of action probably during the road of trials, and then once you emerge as a new man, it's probably happiness, and also I would say bliss in a way, because then the small things don't matter to you anymore, as well as you then probably feel capable of having a child or a son of your own who you then put on the same journey.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's also like the reason why we resonate with the hero's journey so much is that it reminds us that the hero is like every other person. He's like this, as scared as everyone else, and it reminds us that we can all accomplish the same thing as he can. It's we are not the hero is not that special because
Yeah.
we're all human beings.
Yeah. So in a way, there's that relativity that you feel like you could have also been in that place, or you think about the hero in the beginning as he was somebody just like you, living the average life or being mediocre or being the same thing, and then you're able to put yourself in his shoes, and then once you get across, once you come to understand the story, that's when you basically vision yourself going through the same journey. Is that what you're trying to say? Something like that?
Yeah. It gives you, it gives you confidence. It reassures you that it's possible.
That's pretty cool. I think I can actually think back in my own life and think of experiences where I've seen other people go through it. So in a way, it inspires me, as well as I like to go on the same journey, and get my ass kicked so that I can learn and become something new. So that's pretty interesting. Tell me, like, in your opinion, or based on whatever way you have applied the hero's journey to your own life, that how does this affect the maturation process of man, or how does it, impact the process through which a male goes through the boy to the man stage? In your opinion, tell me about that.
Yeah, well, like the hero's journey, it applies to both men and women, but it's particularly effective and evident in the maturation process of the male, because the hero as an archetype is the immature version of the warrior archetype. You talked about in one of your videos as well, the king, warrior, magician, and lover.
Yeah.
And the hero is like the immature version of the warrior. And during the hero's journey, the hero becomes the warrior.
Yeah.
And when we talked about the atonement of the father, the stage, and the next stage after that one is called apotheosis.
Yeah.
And the apotheosis is translated from Greek and Latin, and it means to deify, to make divine.
All right.
And what it basically means is that the hero goes through death and resurrection. The hero lays aside his negative past self, his egotistic self, the child, the kid, and through that process he dies, but then he is reborn. He is reborn into the man, the warrior, and the more divine version of himself. And that is like the key idea here, that you have to die before you can become the greater version of yourself.
Yeah, same as in King Warrior. Yeah, makes sense. But so tell me one thing, because like so you studied about this from a mythological perspective, and you must have, I don't know if you've had your own hero's journey or something like that. So like how I spoke in the King Warrior video about how I, for example, came out from my own environment of being a boy and then kind of progressed to becoming a man through this particular journey of a ritual. Now, I haven't been exposed to the hero's journey like how you have. So definitely I'm going to check out the book, because, I'm learning a lot of new stuff when I'm talking to you. But tell me, in your own life, like, have you had the experience of the hero's journey? And if yes, then How did you have it? And, how has it changed you as a person?
Well, I think like our entire life can be looked upon like one big hero's journey.
Yeah.
But I also think like there are like different chapters of it and smaller hero's journeys within a bigger much journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I've definitely noticed it in retrospect, and I can see it. I can see myself living it at the moment as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in my childhood, I was always attracted towards myths
mm-hmm.
and warriors and heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother, we would go into the forest and we would have sword fights with wooden sticks and stuff like that. And we would always be attracted towards these kind of things.
Yeah.
And I even had like a mini refusal of the calling when I was in my teenage years.
Okay.
Like I didn't want to I didn't want to study that much. I didn't want to improve. I was kind of selfish.
Yeah.
But after the high school, I went to the military.
Mm-hmm.
For 8 months, and this was kind of like my trip to the underworld.
Yeah. It would have been ass probably.
Yeah, it has an impact on me because you're taken from your home environment, your safe environment, and you're put into like this completely opposite place where you just have to face these struggles, face this pain, and no one there is going to care about what you want to do or what you want to eat or anything. Like you just have to
exactly.
Yes sir, and just have to do it.
Yeah.
But at one point, I was my profession at the army was like the sharpshooter or like the sniper.
Yeah.
And at one point, I even thought that this is my calling. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that one thing that really resonated with me, because I'm a warrior by nature.
Yeah.
But I'm more of like a peaceful kind.
Yeah.
I'm a peaceful warrior who is trying to bring positive change to the world instead of more turmoil.
Yeah.
And after the military, then I truly found my true calling, which I would call like my writing, these YouTube videos, my blog, and inspiring people in general.
Mm-hmm. But that's insane, because even in the King Warrior book, they talk about these initiations and how they have become absent from modern society. But then they talk about things like which are almost compulsory, because I guess military conscription might be compulsory in Estonia. Am I right?
Yes, it's compulsory. Yeah.
All right. So it's the same thing. Like they talk about pseudo initiations, which happen by force or which happen because of the environment and not because of a natural calling. And they talk about either young males, getting into gangs and acting all stupid, or getting into the military, and that is where once their boy ass is kicked to the ground, that is where they take both again. And it's not necessary that the military can be your calling, and as you rightly said, but at least it in a way opens up your eyes, and it shows you in a way the path, or like it shows you what is really important in life. And it's not all the tiny little shit we used to make you happy before, and now you want to do something greater. Now you want to have a bigger impact, or now you want to come out as somebody who can actually bring about a change, as you said. And that's why both of us are on YouTube in a way. So that's actually pretty cool. You have anything else to add to this particular thing?
No. At the moment, I would say like my current journey is doing these YouTube videos, is writing my blog, is empowering others. But I'm definitely looking forward to also experiencing this maturation process.
Yeah.
From the hero to the warrior. You don't want to be the hero for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You want to level up in a way. I've already in my past. I've already already done this maturation, but it's a constant process. You have to do it several times.
Yeah.
You have to, you know, constantly reinventing yourself. You have to constantly die and reborn again.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's the same thing, because like I have this thing, right? People ask me what do I do, and I say I kick my own ass, basically. And what I mean to say when I say that is that, you know, like whatever seems tough to me today, or whatever, you know, is like my goal today, and it looks so huge and difficult that it looks almost unattainable, that it might not be possible to achieve it. Until it is like that, I'm excited, you know, and my ass is on fire and I'm working hard, or, you know, like basically I'm getting stimulated because there's new shit to do. All right. Once I get to that stage, then I talk about this in one of my videos. It's called stimulation. Once you get to that stage, that becomes your baseline, basically. All right. And once that becomes your baseline, then you have to set a new goal or a new challenge, and, you know, get again to kicking your own ass. Because if you stop that cyclical process, then I think your growth stops, you know. And as you said, you want to upgrade your level. So you want to get to the next level, and you want to constantly upgrade. So that's pretty cool. But I'm so glad we met, Sim. Shall I wrap this video up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yeah. So, guys, I hope you liked what Sim spoke about. I definitely learned something new today, because I have heard of Joseph Campbell before, but I haven't read the book. And now, after hearing Sim's story, I'm definitely going to check the book out. And just for you guys, I'll even put the links in the description below. So if any of you are interested in the book, you can get it out. Besides that, Sim has an insane channel talking about a lot of cool tips and tricks for your own body and mind in order to become better and optimize yourself. So definitely check that out, because I came across him recently and I think the content is very unique. All right. And this is the first time I'm doing a collab. Let me know how you find this. All right. And as well as if you want me to talk to any other great guys like Sim, then let me know. And do give us feedback. Check out Sim's channel. Give him feedback if you have any questions for him regarding the hero's journey, or if you have any of your experiences that you would want to share with us, write it in the comments below, and we'll see you soon. So, bye-bye.
Bye.